Thank you all for your service.
Yes, all the young men and women
Yes.
that gave their life and continue to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Skip,
Now, back to business.
How you doing,
right?
Skip?
How you doing?
I figured I put on me some new clothes today,
Really?
too. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell
Yeah.
you what.
What it is?
That outfit's as overrated as number 2 was on Saturday night.
Yep. I brought this out especially
Did
for
you?
him. Yeah.
Just for him
Just
to
for
celebrate?
him, yeah.
Good. It's perfect.
There's
it
a
works.
lot going on. There is a lot going on. It might fit with today's show because we have a lot to talk about today. Do the Warriors need Katie back in the finals? And why is CJ McCollum coming after this guy? Skip. He will respond, but we are going to start with the Raptors. They are on their way to their first NBA Finals in franchise history, and Kawhi Leonard is a big reason why. He had a game-high 27 points and 17 rebounds to help lead Toronto on a 26-3-1 run in the second half to close out the Bucks. After the game, Raptors president Masai Ujiri said Kawhi is, quote, the best player in the league, and we're happy he is in Toronto. Shannon, how would you grade Kawhi's Game 6 performance?
Here we go.
Hey, Skip,
Here we go. Lay it on.
You gonna let me do it?
Lay it on thick.
Please.
Jenny said Kawhi was a big reason. Nah, Jenny, you misspeaking.
Oh, so we're going to the?
The reason. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Kawhi was the reason, and he gets an A. An A+. Skip
You're going
Bayless.
A+?
A+.
I think you just changed
No,
on the fly.
no, A+.
You had your notes probably say A. Your researcher told you to say A.
Don't do that, Skip.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying this was Michael Jackson's Thriller album. I'm not even saying this was Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album. But Dirty Diana, that's it. Bad, that's it. That's his album right here. Yeah. 10 million copies sold.
Good,
so
that's about right.
It wasn't that virtuoso that we saw the other night, or the Game 7, or the Game 4.
Oh.
But when they needed Kawhi to be...
You're still going to give it an A+. Okay, I got it. Okay.
But Skip, when they needed him, he came through 27, 17, and 7. But Kawhi, we need you to be great in the second half.
Okay.
19, 12, and 4 with 2 blocks. Can I interest you in that? Because Skip Bayless tells me all the time. He said, really, Shannon, the way you measure an athlete or the way I measure them, especially if they're all-time great, and we hold them to the highest standard, what did you do when your team needed you the most?
In the fourth quarter. Go ahead.
Ooh, he was something.
Woo.
And see, a lot of times what get carried away is that all we look at is the offensive input, the output that a guy does. He scored 35.
Yeah.
But he had a yeoman's work. So not only was he giving you the 30 on a nightly basis, he was locking down, he was locking up, and had Giannis in solitary. No sunlight. Wouldn't even let him skip. That's high max.
Really?
You know, even on high max, they let you come out 1 hour a day.
Really? Yep.
Had him on 24-hour lockdown. Locked him up.
Had him down in the hole, man.
Giannis shot 58% in the regular season.
Yep.
When Kawhi Leonard guarded Giannis in this series, he shot 35%. And the guy that's going to be the MVP was anything but that outside of the first 2 games. So, Skip Bayless, I don't really know how we get around this today. But today is the day. On Sunday, we praise one guy. But today, Monday, we got to
Now you're going to straight blasphemy. You're doing okay, but you went completely over the edge into straight blasphemy.
Let me praise Kawhi. He deserved it. And I know it hurts. It hurts a little more today because where he came from, you know, that's your baby. I mean, he was your guy.
Yep.
That was your guy. Now he's Toronto's guy.
Yep,
and they're going to the NBA Finals.
For a little while, he's Toronto's guy.
Don't worry about that. You don't worry about how long it's going to be. But for right now, Kawhi Leonard is an A++.
Dear Father, forgive him for what he does not know. Now, let's talk about what I saw on Saturday night, shall we? I'm going to give you this. Number 2 played pretty well on Saturday night.
Well.
I give you that.
Okay.
The team around him played extremely, shockingly well. So if just one of us can be objective and step back and put this in the right perspective, I'm going to give number 2 a B-. And that, you know, I wavered between C+, B-, but I'm going to go B- because I'm going to look on the bright side today because the Toronto Raptors finally, for the first time in their history, are in the NBA Finals, and I got to give them that, so I'm going to give them a slight edge. I'm going to go B-. Do you realize if not for one lucky bounce three that came late, I'm going to talk about it a little more in detail in just a minute, but he had one lucky bounce three. If not for that, do you realize that number 2 would have been 0 for 8 from 3? Can I interest you in that?
Yeah, you can.
Can I interest you, by the way, in a little-known stat that since May 7th, that number 2 has been the worst shooter in the playoffs from the three-point line at 26.5%. But that, who's counting? Let's leave that be for now. But that means he was almost 0 for 8 from 3 on Saturday night with 6 turnovers. So those 2 alone, I got to go down to B-. And by the way, we have gone back and forth for weeks about Toronto's supporting cast. You dug in and said Milwaukee has the better supporting cast. I said that is laughable. It's not true. And they just showed you, I think, that Toronto has much superior supporting cast.
I could have swore I had an addendum.
Oh.
I amended. I said Milwaukee had the more consistent, which they had been throughout the entirety of the regular season. Therefore, they had 60 wins. But
so
go ahead.
Bad. Okay. So just for the record, for those who missed it, because most people probably did, number 2 did need to rest for the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. That came after Reggie Miller on TNT said that he was out of gas mid-third quarter. I know you don't listen, but
I didn't hear.
Out of gas. And I nearly fell out of my chair on that one because he looked just fine to me, but what do I know?
He always looks fine to you.
I've only watched him the last 7 years. I don't know, but he just looked just fine to me. He's always got kind of a pained expression on his face, but that doesn't mean that he's out of gas. So he did sit, and I have no problem with this, for the first 3:30 of the fourth quarter, and when he took the seat, they were down 5. When he stood up and came back in the game, would you believe they were up 2? So I don't know what happened, but the supporting cast went crazy while he was sitting. And the supporting cast went on a 9-2 run. Now, he had started to turn the momentum around before he came out at the end of the third quarter.
That is correct.
But all of a sudden, they go on a 9-2 run without him. I don't know who these people are. Guy you trashed all last week, Van Vliet, just went crazy hot from 3.
So over the last 3 games,
I'd say
crazy.
he did. But this time in this 9-2 run, Van Vliet gets loose for a layup, and then Norman Powell. I've always told you I love Norman Powell coming off the bench because he comes in, he's just fearless, and he made another big 3, and then. I don't know how, but Siakam had a big dunk, and then, Ibaka had a big dunk, and then Siakam made a nice little 6-foot floater, and that adds up to 9-2, and I don't know. The supporting cast looked really good to me in this game, which is why I think they got a good shot against Golden State. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I think they do have a very good shot, also skill. But we've seen teams, you remember 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, LeBron and the Cavaliers were playing the Warriors. No, they played Indiana. And they were down 24. And they go on the historic run without Kevin Love and without Kyrie. The biggest thing is that when you see great players and when things start to go in their favor, they want to get in to be a part of it. But Kawhi just sat back and was like, hey, I need the break because, Skip, we got to realize, if he didn't take that break, he'd have played almost 45 minutes in the game. And maybe that's what caught up with him, was catching up with him in Game 3 because he had played so many minutes and the double overtime. So he's getting to a point of no return here.
It's the biggest game in Toronto basketball history times 10.
And I'm glad you said that. Yes. So now you even make his performance even more magnificent.
Really? Okay. So I always say money time, fourth quarter time. Let's look at how number 2 did in the fourth quarter because most people have completely overlooked what really happened because this is what I saw.
What'd you see?
I saw him make a fast break dunk with 6:46 left that just brought down not only the house and the crowd there, just brought down the world.
Yeah.
If we could see that again, it's fast break dunk. Lowry's got the ball. Sweet little deft little trailing pass. So what do we give him on a scale of 1 to 10 on difficulty on that dunk? I'm going to give it a 1. That's a 1. He is running full speed. Giannis is backpedaling, if not just standing flat-footed, and has no prayer of blocking this shot. That is a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Look out below.
Okay, look out below. But am I going to jump through Twitter over that one? Come on, stop it.
It exploded.
You know, and that put them up 8 points. Boy, it was a turning point dunk, wasn't it? Now we get to 3:04 remaining, and can we see another lucky shot from another lucky corner over there?
Don't do that, Skip.
Kind of more of a wing three. It's a little more wing-ish. And it hits the front of the rim and the backboard, and it drops in. That is the lucky rim. That rim loves him. He must have put some voodoo spell on that rim. I don't know what happened. Maybe.
But you know what, Skip? In that very same fourth quarter, he had one to rim out. You remember it spent around and around and kicked it out?
Okay, but that
Look at this, Skip. Watch this.
That one lucked in. Luck.
I mean, come on, Skip.
Come on.
How did that not go in?
Well, because he shot it a little too far to the left, and it went in and out. That's not unlucky. That's just a bad shot. It didn't go down. It didn't luck out.
It did.
Right? This lucked in for sure. And I'm looking back saying, really, it hit the front of the rim and then the backboard and dropped in. And so that put them up 5 points, and I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock in that. Again, that made him 1 for 8 from 3. Now we get to the game-turning play featuring your man, A-plus number 2.
Yes.
This is game-turning. This is 2:06 remaining, and he drives on Giannis, and then what happens? Can we see this, please? Thank you very much. He drives on Giannis. Here he goes, and he goes up. And Giannis obliterates it.
No, that wasn't no
He
Giannis.
obliterated
Giannis came from the weak
it. It
side,
was
Skip.
absolutely nuclear. Look at this. Whoa, whoa.
That was the heck
you
of
know
a
what?
block.
He
It was
got
like a
body
block.
bagged. I'm surprised he lasted. I thought they'd have to just carry him out because that's a body bag dunk, right? That's the one you don't survive. And help me out. What happens to the basketball? I don't know how. You want to talk about lucky bounces on his lucky
It
end?
went right to him.
It goes right to Siakam. How does this go to Siakam? It bounces right to Siakam for a putback layup. It's a layup. He just lays it off the
Skip,
glass.
No, you being disingenuous.
Whoa.
First of all, that was not on Giannis. Giannis was the help defender. He did not see Giannis.
Oh, he didn't see him. Whatever. He got his lunch, dinner, and then breakfast eaten all in one play.
But hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So